Hello everyone, this is Ravi. Welcome to my channel. Today we are going to discuss very interesting lesson, that is Selfish Giant, from the 8th standard NCERT book. This Selfish Giant, it was written by Oscar Wilde. The story was very interesting. It's a children's story also. At the initial stage, there is a description of a beautiful garden. It belongs to Giant. The story is started like every afternoon. The children were coming from school and they used to go and play in the giant's garden. The reason is that the garden was so attractive, so lovely, with the soft green grass and beautiful flowers. Just they are looking like stars, and so many trees also were there, and they could produce you know a delicate blossoms of pink color. That's the reason almost all the children would like to spend a lot of time in the garden, and they were playing, they were enjoying like anything. Sometime in the process of enjoying, they would stop. The reason is that the birds, those were sitting on the trees, they would sing a song very melodiously. For this reason, children used to stop their games in order to listen those songs. Just imagine how beautiful the songs actually these birds are singing, and they could feel very happy. It was a moment of cloud nine to all the children, and it is exactly a stupendous view uh, from the garden. We can feel it. Everything was almost fine. The children would tell again the beautiful statement, that is how happy we are here. They cried to each other. It means they were telling to each other because no disturbance. Only after finishing the school, they would come, they would enjoy, they would listen a beautiful songs by the birds here. But suddenly, what happened? Bolt from the blue means here it is unexpected thing was happened. The reason is that actually that garden belonged to the giant. Actually, the giant was not there. It had been to somewhere, means to visit his friend here, that is called as Cornish Ochre, and it stayed almost 7 years. And that's the reason, in the absence of giant, the children were almost happy. They were leading very comfortable life over there, enjoy enjoyment moment over there. But there's something astonished moment, or suddenly a surprise moment for the children, that is called as suddenly one day giant came back, and he arrived to the garden. There it saw the children were playing in the garden. As soon as it saw, it cried in a gruff voice that, "What are you doing here?" As soon as it, the said like that, the children were playing, they started to run away from that place. They became frustrated, panic by seeing, the structure or the, different type of sign here, and that's the reason they became so much unhappy there. In the picture you can see this one. This is called as giant here. Whenever it came, and it told that, "What are you doing here?" As soon as children listened the voice of you know mm, giant, they started to run away from that places here. And now, what the sad moment for them here, and it also informed that here, "My garden, this is my own garden, you know anyone can understand that here. I will not allow nobody to play in it because it is my property here." So this is the reason what happened. After that one, it has done very bad thing, that is called as it built a high wall all around it and put a notice board, that is, "Trespassers will be prosecuted." It means that whoever will come, I will punish them here. So this is, it has put in the form of notice board here. Just imagine how the moment of the children now. The reason is that they were happy. They were enjoying like anything. They could listen. They could enjoy in the garden, and they would enjoying the bird song also here. But everything was stopped now here because of arrival of giant here. Now they became so much unhappy. These poor children now they did not get any place, to play over there. So they tried to play on the road. And sometimes what happened, the road was very dusty. It was full of hard stones. That's the reason they did not like to play over there. And whenever they were just wandering here and there, they used to wander around the high walls where their lessons were over. It means they just started to remember the wonderful moments how they had spent in the absence of what is called as giant here. And they talk about the beautiful garden inside. Now they were telling that here how happy we were there. See the difference. Just some days back they were telling how happy we are, but now they were telling how happy we were there. They started to speak like that. Just it is the statement that it is going to refer that now they lost, they became so much unhappy. Just they could remember the only happy moments. Now they're not having beautiful moments. Just they became so much sad over there. Yes, see this one here. Next, couple of days later, spring has entered. You are aware that everybody likes spring here. So in the spring, all over country there were little blossoms and little birds. But in the garden, that is selfish giant, it was still winter. You must realize, if the winter is there, the birds usually did not sing. Not only birds, and there were no children also in the garden. These two reasons, what happened, the trees also forgot to blossoms here. And one very important, very different type of authors line here we must notice. At the same time, what happened, once a beautiful flower put its heads out from the grass, and there it saw a notice board. After seeing that notice board, it was so sorry for the children, and that moment means at that same moment, once again, it slipped back into the ground again and it went off to sleep here. So, in the garden, there were only the people, that is what? Snow, frost. These are started to dominate the whole garden, and they were telling that here spring has forgotten this garden and we are taking a whole rule here. They started to speak, and they have that time welcome what is called as they invited north wind also to stay with them here. So in the garden only these snow, frost, north wind started to dominate, started to rule whole garden here. And here author's point of view here, it is something like in the form of personification. Means here these are acting like a person in the story over there. And some days later, what happened? These the three started to become a dominant, uh, playing a different role in the whole garden here. And next, what happened? In on one fine morning, selfish giant, okay, it was just sitting at the window and looked at his his scold. That time he told here, I cannot understand why the spring is so late in coming here. I hope there will be a change in the weather. But that time spring never came. Not the summer, only autumn gave golden fruit to every garden, but in the giant garden it did not give anything here, and it also suggested that he is too selfish. See how these, uh, all the, it may be spring, all, it may be autumn, they have considered the nature of giant here. Like they have been telling, the giant became so much selfish here. And there, that time what happened, the things were finished there. Next one fine morning, what happened, the giant was just lying awake in the bed, and it was able to listen lovely music. It became so much happy, and it thought maybe here king's musicians passing by. This is the reason the sound was coming here. But very miracle thing was happened. It came, and it was finally realized it was not the musicians sound here. Actually, it is a uh, little linnet bird was singing outside his window, and it heard. It became so much happy, and now it seemed to him it is the most beautiful music in the world here, and it thought maybe anyway the spring has come at last here. It's so excited, and it jumped out of the bed and looked out here. Maybe spring has finally entered into my garden here. So this is first part here. In the second part, what will happen, we'll see in the next session. Thank you for listening.